3, 2, 1. Paper.
Scissors.
Fuck.
Yes. Okay.
Dude,
Hey everyone.
this is so unfair.
Shut up. You lose. Hey everyone. Welcome to the 4th time in a row Panoramic Perspective Podcast. Your weekly trip for anime shit. Let's get into it. This week's episode
doesn't even throw in that he's like the winner, so everybody's just like, "Oh, 4th time in a row." What's
They don't understand. I have won rock paper scissors every single time we have done this. Like, this is not planned at all either. He's just that bad. You know what was? It's
rock paper scissors. It's a game of chance.
Before we get into it, it's so funny because he was literally just telling me the other day, like, "Bro, stop picking paper. You always pick paper, so I always lose." And I'm all like, "Okay, so today I picked scissors, and what does this man pick? Paper."
Oh, because I thought, okay, maybe he's gonna pick rock because he told me he's not gonna pick paper.
Well, that's where you messed up. All right, this week's episode is the Garden of Words.
Man, the Garden of Words.
Yeah, I mean, I was excited for this one.
Yeah, I can tell you were. It's kind of funny because leading up to the Garden of Words, like even before we started filming, doing this podcast, you've been trying to get me to watch this movie. Yeah. Yep, and I was always just like, I'll get to it, or it's on the list, which it was on the list, but it was, you know, like how you tell a friend, oh, it's on the list.
It's like on the list. Like, it's more like a mental note. You're like, it's not like on the list, but
it's not on your priority list, but it's like if you were browsing through Netflix one day and you saw it, then you'd be like, oh, hey, my friend told me to watch this. Maybe I'll watch it today. And then you add it to your list and you don't even watch it that day. Let's get into the story aspect of it. Yeah. So quick little summary. So our story starts off with the 15-year-old boy who is kind of, I guess, in his lost, you know. He doesn't really know his own place in the world, and he wants to fit in kind of the real world, but he's stuck in his teenage, you know, dilemma of school and hormones and all that.
Yeah, of course.
He kind of has this ritual where, like, on every rainy day he'll skip school and he goes to like this nice little park where it's this beautiful, very beautiful place to clear your mind, greenery everywhere, and there's this nice little pond, and he just likes to sketch out different shoe designs. This is where we learn that our main character wants to become a cobbler of the sort someday. I don't know why I said of the sorts.
Yeah, I was like,
Herman's cobbler. On one of the days where it's raining and he skips school, he bumps into a woman who happens to be a teacher at the school that he attends. She notices like the uniform right away and ends up quoting like this piece of literature, and the quote that she says to him is is a faint clap of thunder, cloudy skies, perhaps rain will come, and if so, stay with me. And this is very interesting. At this moment, it kind of leaves our character to really keep her in his mind and like ponder on the meaning of this question. And not only that, but it does the same thing to the viewers here, where it kind of makes you go, who is she? Why would she say that to him? What does that mean? And you're kind of asking yourself throughout each scene with her too. So that's
cool. And I really like that. That's like a great mechanic, I think. Like, what'd you think of that? Like, I thought it was so cool to like create this kind of story element that really not only makes the character kind of,
who is she?
It almost puts you in the mind of like the character.
Of the character,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, and that's so great.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like it's definitely, I wish I see this. I wish I could see this writing mechanic used a lot more, because it was.
I would too. You know.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like really into an anime and they try to really build up this like character, and you're like, I really like this character, but I feel like it take it to another level to like make you feel how the character.
Who is she? Because that was one of my biggest questions. Was I was literally questioning, who is she? Because I had a feeling she had to be someone important somewhere down the line, right?
Yeah,
like someone. Obviously, she recognized something. Like I said, like in that first scene, she recognized something on him. So she had to be someone close to him, or not close to him, but someone who have seen him before, or
is associated with him in some way.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So just that was a genius work of, oh, she's a literature teacher, she's just gonna quote this piece of literature. It traps that in his mind. He wrote it down. He asked his brother, like, hey, what does this mean?
The crazy thing about it is, like, we don't even know that that's like actually his curriculum at the school, you know? So we're just sitting there going, she's like a poet or something.
Yeah, it's like what was that? Because that's kind of like what I got too. Like, oh, maybe she recognized he's an artist of some sort, and she's sharing like her form of art with him. So like poetry. Yeah. So then he's kind of just in this thought of, who is she? Mm-hmm. And from there we kind of get a peek into his home life. First, I got mistaken as the brother, as like a father figure, but it's actually his brother.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah. Right away when I watched it, I kind of figured, right away that's his brother. And for you to kind of see him as a father, I thought it was very interesting.
It was the dialogue for me, because the way the dialogue came off, it was he sat down, the brother comes in, he goes, "Where's your mother?" Like it was very much father, like authority type-ish. Yeah, I don't know why I worded that so weird. But he comes in, he says, "Oh, I picked up croquettes from the store. Where's your mother? She left again." Oh, and just it was the way the dialogue was too. Mm-hmm. Oh, she'll come back when she's done with her boyfriend. It was very odd. So I got this sense of like swingers.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And it wasn't until like later in the movie where he says, "Oh yeah, I only have my older brother," and stuff like that. I was like, "Oh, okay."
You're like, wait, everything I know is a lie. Like,
no. It ends up turning into another rainy day. He bumps into her again, and they kind of come to, or they kind of come to this like mutual agreement that, okay, well then we'll both meet here on rainy days now. Like permanently. And then they're like, oh, well, who knows when that'll happen again. And they do this really interesting thing with music where like he goes, and just like that, and this piano comes in so hard. Mm-hmm. And at first I thought it was like, at first I took it as like, oh man, that could represent like really just how rain and Mother Nature itself has such unexpected plans, and you can't really tell, like how things are going to go. And
oh, okay, I see.
And that, so that's how like the music came off to me, is just because just the way it lined up with the words. He goes, oh, and just like that, boom, like literally like thunder comes in, and the piano is just, there's no soft build up. It's just hard key notes like right away, and it's pouring. So I took it as like, oh, I need to be ready because things could happen in an instant. And like that's literally how I took it. Like this story is either going to like drastically go one way in an instant, and anything could happen.
Well, I feel like it can also be almost seen in a different way. Could be seen almost like, oh, this hard piano representing like our full like commitment to this.
Yeah,
this is just what we do now. There's no swaying our mind. Like if it's raining, we're meeting each other. Like we have this connection now. Almost could also be seen like that.
So then we get introduced to like the first or the first like start of the rainy season, and our two main characters are just meeting up every day, and through this we get a look at our female protagonist here. We get a scene where she's kind of just in her house, and we learn a bit of her mental state and how she's kind of haunted by her own demons, and because of that she's this social outcast almost, that she's put into her own self, and in her eyes she can't even walk anymore, which is like a big thing. We then come to find out that she was a teacher at the school that our main character attends, and he starts learning the whole story. We learn that she had a class, and I guess one of her students' boyfriends thought she was very attractive, and that led that female student to spread rumors and lies about her, which evidently cost her her social life, her husband, and her job. Which, God, big shame on the husband for just leaving her at that point like that.
Yeah, that's really messed up. Like, you're not going to just
try to help her
wife and like try to help her or whatever. I don't know. That's the part where I was like, okay, I don't even like this husband anyway.
Yeah, he was
I don't even like this guy.
Rumors?
I'm
out. No, you love kids? I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Did you do it? No, he was just straight up like, I'm out.
Yeah, no, that's so messed up.
And then the thing that's even more messed up about it is like he talks to her still, and he's like, "Don't worry, I'm always here for you," and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's a weird. It's kind of
very weird.
It's almost unhealthy for her.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then this leads our character to get into this fight. He slaps the girl who started the rumors and gets his ass beat by her boyfriend. This leads our character to go back down to the place that they met, the park, the pond, and he says to her, a fake clap of thunder, even if rain comes not, I will stay here together with you, which is the correct response to the original question that she had asked him in the very beginning. Yeah. This leads our characters to kind of go, or it starts like pouring down hard. They flee back to
like crazy too. like
harder than ever.
Like, yeah, it was.
And this is literally this is past rain season too. Like this is past, like they just finished summer vacation, so like almost into like fallish, right?
Yeah. So
and it's just pouring crazy. Hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they go back to the teacher's apartment where they kind of, at least to me, this is what I got, because I know you kind of got a different representation here towards the end.
Yeah.
But to me, how it came off was in the apartment, they both recognized that they were happy together. The student tells the woman how he feels. He says, "I love you." Like straight up, like you know, you kind of helped me through a lot that I didn't even realize that I needed help with, and you know, I don't think I could do that without you, so I love you and like I want to be with you. She responds back with, "It's Miss Yukino, we need to stay professional," and kind of instantly shuts him down. She's a mature
woman and he's 15.
He's 15. That is the big part of this. Yeah, he shuts him down instantly, and he's broken by this because he just feels that she played with his heart the entire time. He even goes off on her, and he runs out, and it just leaves us with this heartbroken woman who's literally like can't even tell this student how much he has helped her and how much he actually means to her. And so like she just pretty much says fuck it. She runs after and chases him, and she finds him on the balcony, and he's yelling at her still and like literally disrespecting her to the max here. Like and metaphorically spitting on her face, just to put it in like you know, just to paint the picture here. And she just jumps into his arms and like tells him like damn near how much he actually means to her, and how he helped her walk again. And to me, this came off as, I do have these feelings for you because you helped me, but it's just we can't right now. Like literally, timing is bad. That's how it came off to me. Even with the ending, because like the movie ends right there, but if you watch past the credits, there's this little after credit scene, beautiful after credit scene where it shows that they do keep in touch, like through notes or letters. It looks like, and he left. Like he finally finished the pair of shoes that he was making for her, and he places them down on the bench where he first met her. And that to me like also kind of to me back to like my original thought of they both have these strong feelings towards each other. They both do want to be with each other, but it's just they can't right now until they kind of just need to focus on their own lives first, and then definitely. One day they'll cross paths again and everything will be right.
Yeah, which is actually different than how I took it.
Right.
And there's one quote that I have that kind of helps me explain it, is when she finally hugs him, because he tells her basically, you used me. You used me, you played me, you knew I was 15, and yet you made me think that there was like this chance, and there was none. So when she hugs him, she's like crying, and she kind of says like, I didn't want to go to school. I was afraid. Like I was almost afraid of my whole life. But in that place where I would meet you, like you saved me.
Yeah.
Right. So what it kind of made me feel like with that ending was almost like, yes, I used you, but I used you because I needed you, because you actually helped pull me out of this funk. Not really a sense of, oh, the timing isn't right, just more of a sense of I'm this way, I treated you this way because I was so afraid, but you actually were that source. So I used you because I needed to, for you to help bring me back and be able to walk again almost.
Okay, yeah.
And that's kind of how I took that ending. And you see how it's, again, we have differences. They both seem to work, and we don't really know what happens, you know?
And like, I feel like, especially with a movie like this, the ending to me is definitely up to viewer interpretation.
Yeah.
It's and seeing the differences and just like yours and my own point of view of how we interpreted it, just moments in the story can prove that about this movie itself, which
I feel like makes it so much better as a movie.
Definitely, you know? Because now, like, if I were to go back and watch this movie right now, I kind of keep in mind like everything, like your point of view, and try to see it through your eyes now. Which would definitely change my whole, you know,
world
experience with the movie, which is, you know, kind of just shows the beauty of media again. And
all right, so I guess let's just get into the music. Okay, definitely. Sweet. So something I really took note on, because the music kind of through the middle was very just in the background, wasn't really the focus for me, because I felt like the story was so like important in this movie, was really the focus. So what I really took note on is the music in the beginning when she first left the park was really perplexing, and I really enjoyed it because I felt like that moment really was perplexing, you know?
Oh, definitely.
It had this how it was this soft melody, you know, this very beautiful, like, nice rhythm, nice pace, accompanied with like these harsh notes. So it'd be like a nice, like, soft, and then a harsh, and then a nice soft, and then a harsh. And I feel like it gave this sense of like beauty, but hesitation.
You like that? No, that's really interesting, because like, just thinking about that in the beauty and hesitation, it kind of supports my not theory, but statement from earlier, where it's like, oh, the music gives off, or just like that first intro to that hard piano gives off this be ready for anything almost type thing. And it's really cool, because like you said, the music's almost, I don't want to say minor in this movie, because it does have a powerful part to play, but it's just not as powerful as, like, I would say, a different film that I like, or other films.
Ones that utilize music to express more meaning behind it for certain moments.
Like just as an example, something like a silent, like, I don't want to get into it, but, you know, something like A Silent Voice, where music is a big part of expressing those, or
that was the right word,
or portraying those emotions to the viewer, and helping seek in those feelings. Whereas like here, it's almost like a little bit of seasoning, you know, like just
exactly,
just like a little sprinkle. It's like the scenery and the writing will set up and pull you in itself, but then you have just like that little music to
really reinforce, like, almost your
thought process. Yes, exactly. Oh,
no, that's definitely what it does. So that was what I thought was really cool, this sense of like beauty and hesitation, which within the intro song of it all, you know, I thought that was really cool.
This is something I really want to ask you. What was your first initial impression of I think Miss Yukino is her name? Because like, when I first see her in the park, like, I got very like sleazy almost, you know, just carefree, you know. So
which makes sense. She's like drinking beer and eating chocolate in a park. In her working clothes.
In her working clothes, exactly. So I just want to know, like how did she come off to you when you first saw her?
That's very interesting, because for me, I felt like she came off almost more mysterious to me. And the reason why is because of that. She's in her working clothes. She's drinking beer and eating chocolate at a park. And she's so to herself and in her mind, but she just came off as this big mystery, and especially since you don't really know anything about her, and the movie kind of keeps you on this sense of you're not going to know anything about her until that big reveal.
Yeah.
And so I felt like she was more like a mystery that I wanted to figure out, which was cool because that's kind of how the character ended up feeling. He was like, oh, she's like this mystery that I want to try to solve.
Yeah.
I totally see where like the sleazy aspect of it comes from.
It's just like to kind of back up why it's all based off of like the main character's first initial reactions to her, like the side eye glance, like he was looking at her with this sense of wow, she's beautiful, but then the double take of she's eating chocolate, she's drinking beer, they almost gave him like this feeling of disgust, which it really transferred on to me well. I think like I felt that within the character right there of like, wait, that's not right. She's like looks like maybe a middle, not middle age, but like maybe like early 30s.
She's a more mature woman.
Woman.
Yeah.
Obviously she's got a job because she's dressed for work, but she's just eating chocolate and drinking beer in a park.
Yeah.
And then
which makes her look irresponsible as
well. And then it's also just like that almost like first initial reaction too, where it's she's asking him like, oh, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, what are you doing? Like almost just that little like, don't talk to me, like you obviously have your shit together, so I'm not gonna talk to you. Like
that's a very aggressive stance to like kind of notice, I would say.
I mean that's how it initially came off to me, so like that's why it was very I guess interesting to see this connection kind of blossom manifest into what it did.
Definitely
off of like what I felt like
that's so cool
because
it's so different. It's my thing of being a mystery. I feel like the manifestation of the relationship makes more sense than or like is easier to figure out than, oh, he's very skeptical of her and then this relationship blossoms. It's just that must have been really cool to kind of
it was a ride. It was a ride on my watch too. I was like, man, this is
definitely. Then the last part for the music that I thought was really cool was the ending, like the last song. Like it definitely makes the feeling of the movie very like weird, like almost like there was unfinished business, and I think that was intentional. Because like we said, she hugs him, says this really heartfelt thing, whichever way you interpret it, and then it ends. And you just don't like it. Like we said, it's really open to interpretation. So it feels like, okay, it isn't finished. It really leaves you to kind of do it yourself. I think the music kind of helped you realize like, this is the intention of the movie.
It's just one of those things where I kind of felt it in the moment when I was already trying to interpret like my own
opinion or like
on the ending. Mindset of the ending, like, oh, how do I feel about this, like, because that was the biggest question I asked myself when it was over. It was, how do I feel about this?
Which is interesting because the first time I obviously watched it before you, because I was, like we said, I was recommending this to him a lot, and I think that's really why, because that's exactly how I felt the first time I watched it. Was, how do I literally sat there after I finished it and I was just like,
No, that's literally how I did. I sat there in this chair. I was looking at my notes, and I was like, how do I feel about this?
And that's what I'm saying is like this weird music, and if you ever watch it again, you should listen out for that. I felt like the music was really weird to kind of give you this sense of, how do I feel about this?
And let me just say this, like, I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, I don't mean in like a, ew, how do I feel about this? Ooh. Like I mean that in just like a genuine, like, almost like if I just watched a really good mystery. Like
how
whatever.
You know how you watch a movie and something will, like, the ending isn't really, it's almost like a really weird ending to where maybe someone dies, or like maybe there's like this decision where people like separate when you thought they were going to be together, and you kind of just sit there and it kind of stumps you and you're just like,
You're
how
just
do
like,
I feel
man, I
about
can't
this?
believe that his mom's name was Martha too.
Yeah. No! Why did you say that name? Why did you say that name? Like, dude, chill. That's his mom's name.
It's just his mom's name, bro. Let's take a look at the art next. And first thing I want to say is, oh my.
Yep.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Dude, this blew my mind. First of all, I had to look at when this anime was made after just like the first couple shots.
Yeah.
When I saw, what was it like? I know I'm gonna get the date wrong here. It's either 2014 or 2016. It's one of those two.
I think it's 14, but I'm not quite sure. I think.
Yeah. And if it is 14, whether it's 14 or 16, it is impressive. It has some of the most beautiful art I think I have ever seen.
I really love the art in this.
Such a great job at photorealism. 2013.
Yep.
Yeah, that's even a bigger shocker right there. Like, I literally cannot stress this enough. Their photorealism is beautiful.
Amazing.
Just they have the opening scene, or one of the opening scenes.
It's lightweight to flex the opening scene. Just
it's a big flex.
Yeah.
Look how good our studio can animate.
Yeah, it really is, because they just show you all these nice shots that are just for you to go, holy cow,
shit,
this is insane. Yeah, like, it looks so good. Everything just has this really pretty, like, amplifying filter almost on it.
Yeah.
So it looks realistic, but like amplified to really show off the beauty of it all. Yeah.
Like, and it's so crazy too, because usually when you kind of pay attention to more of like the background setting in scenes, you see that they use that almost
that kind of like mechanic where it's almost like a green screen almost.
Not green screen, but you know, I come to see that it's usually like that one like brush stroke like art style, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
I see.
Like to make it look almost realistic in the background, but if you pay close attention, you can clearly see it's like painted.
Yeah. It's
like in your peripheral, it's gonna look the way it's shaded, it looks real, but when you focus on it, you see everything for what it is. It's kind of crazy because they definitely did do that, but their brush work in here was just so.
It was very nice.
Very nice. Like I said, like even me just staring like at the background setting, I couldn't even notice the paint work at first. You know, I've really had to like focus and be like, is that painted, or did they like maybe like Photoshop like some greenery in there? Like I was genuinely just jaw dropped throughout the entire movie. This is honestly some of the most and just in terms of real, like capturing, I guess, realism through an animation or through anime, like this takes the cake. This was.
I would be careful saying that, because
not takes the cake, but
I think for the year it was made, it is very impressive.
That's what I'm saying. Like being into like watching this movie in 2021. Yeah, you know, having to look at when this movie, because I thought, I'm not gonna lie, like first opening shots, I thought, oh, maybe like 2017, 2018, somewhere around there, like that's where I thought. But to see it was like 2013, 2014, wow.
Let's just get into these moments we have. I'm excited for this. The first moment we're gonna get to is that I really like the way they represent him at his age of 15, because like we said, he has a lot of responsibility of kind of taking care of himself, almost like he's just an adult at this point. And I thought this was a really cool moment because they portray his like youth and like his youthful whimsicality by having him when he's like walking to the park or whatever. He's kind of excited because it's like raining and he sees like puddles. He like hops over the water puddles as if it was like a game he was playing. Yeah, as a kid, like, oh, I gotta avoid the puddles. I'm gonna jump from side to side.
I don't actually think I caught that, so I think I'll go back and like look at that. Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. I think it's really cool that they show, he's this very mature person, but here's a little, you can still tell he has this youthful thing, and instead of just like showing it through this blatant obvious thing, it's almost just like I'm gonna hop over these puddles, and I wonder if you saw anything like that in terms of showing like youthfulness.
Well, I guess just showing the more juvenile side of him or youthful side of him was kind of when this moment where during one of the rainy days he had prepared like more than a bigger lunch than usual to share with Miss Yukino, and she also had prepared like a breakfast or a lunch, and kind of was like, well, you can try it, but I don't know how to cook that well. And he goes, it's fine or whatever, and like he's trying to be very respectful, and he goes to eat it, and instead of doing, I guess, like what a kind of respectful young man would do and be like, oh yeah, this is good, and swallow it down, or tell
he's
her
just like, oh, this is crap,
dude. He literally starts choking on it. He's like, wow, I wasn't expecting, like, I think the actual quote was, I wasn't expecting that. It was just like this big slap in the face to her. Just
yeah, definitely.
So yeah, in terms of, I guess, youthfulness, I definitely got that moment right there.
And I also like this because it's almost like his youthfulness starts rubbing off on him. Because when there was this big moment where when we first see her wake up and she's looking and she sees the rain and she gets excited about it, like she's finally like feeling this youthful energy of I want it to rain, I want to
which is kind of like another big moment in itself, because it's not that it's just her feeling this way, because he's also feeling like this. Before it was like, oh, if a rainy day would come, I'm going to ditch first period.
Yeah.
Or ditch however long the rain lasts or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It turned into, I hope it rains today. Like literally he was checking the forecast and
that eventually like kind of rubbed off on her, which I guess is also a really cool way of representing like the age difference, by showing like he already had that mindset so early on, and it took her a while to finally develop that. Like she had a longer tolerance because of her age and her maturity,
to start finally like looking forward to seeing and interacting with somebody else again.
Oh yeah. And then another moment that I enjoyed a lot was when we finally find out she's like a teacher at his school.
Definitely.
It was such an amazing way to bring tension to the scene, because he's like playing ball with his friend, but the first cut we see is like this ball just like falling down from the sky, almost crashing into his world. And like there's this really cool moment also using sound in a very realistic way as well, where an airplane is flying over and it brings like that dense sound you hear in an airplane, when the airplane's flying over and you're like, geez, that's a intense noise. And I really feel like they did that to like tighten the scene and make it even feel like
more unnerving.
Exactly.
Like build, because it's crazy, because like during that scene before, like leading up to the big reveal of, oh, she's a teacher here, I did get this like weird sense of like uneasiness, like
you do,
almost as if like for some reason I was watching like a thriller, like all of a sudden, you know what I mean, like
she stopped showing up, right?
She stopped showing up, and then they filled this just weirdness in your heart, and you're like, I don't like what.
This is really when the movie starts making you feel tightened up almost.
Yeah,
like,
and it really
starts going in.
Like, and you start questioning yourself, like, how do I feel about this? It's here, because it's so weird to out of nowhere get this feeling of uneasiness throughout this,
definitely
what you thought was like this nice little
great relationship kind of confusing, but
kind of confusing.
It was pretty.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And then all of a sudden it gets intense, and you're just like, ooh,
this gets super intense, because like we get led into just Yukino, or not Yukino, but to, I guess, like my next big moment, where he finally figures everything out. He's seen her, he figures out all the drama, and he goes straight up to the girl, and he literally takes it upon himself that, like, no, this is wrong. What you guys did to her was wrong,
messed up.
And he literally like I can't stress this enough, he slaps her. Like,
and
she's in a group of people too. Like this was such a ballsy moment. There were two big jock
dudes,
like you could tell they were probably like athletic or something, like jock looking dudes next to her, and he just walks up and slaps her.
After he slapped her or whatever, the jock is just like,
and then it cuts to the next scene. He's getting fucking
he punches him just like super delayed. I was just like, that was a
however really I like his I respect the main character for not standing down. He knew he couldn't fight the dude, but like yet he takes it. It's very I like this moment of just even the jock's like, if you're gonna you fell in love with her, you really gonna get your ass beat over her. He just has this like moment where he's really, I think, almost contemplating that same question.
Just like, am I?
Am I?
Yeah.
And then he just and then charges to him. I love that. Like that was a really good moment because it showed the character conflicting it in his head and just, this is worth it.
No, yeah. And I think that's what makes the ending, his emotions in the ending, so much more justified. I really
understand like
sacrificed for you. Almost. Yeah. Like I was ready to do whatever I needed for you, and then you just used me, and I felt like that was one of those.
I literally just got my ass beat.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, thrown down a flight of stairs. Like, you see these bandages? This ain't no joke. This ain't no Halloween costume.
Yeah.
This is real life.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, I feel like, if that moment almost wasn't in the movie, then his emotions at the end wouldn't have come through the way they had. I really like the moment when he's tells her that he's like making women's shoes. She like lets him look at his foot, because there's in that moment, besides the fact that it's like this really weird like sexual tension almost with her.
It made me feel super uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. So like
it was a little uncomfortable for sure.
I hate feet.
Right.
Like I don't know. Like
wait, no. So your problem with this isn't the fact that it's like sexual tension between a 15-year-old and a mature woman. It's the fact that he was looking at her feet.
No, it was just it was
get out of here.
Uncomfortable for me. Like they almost like fetishized this foot, and it was very
what I'm saying.
Disgusting to me. It was.
But your problem isn't the fact that they fetishized
it's a fucking foot, yeah. Like
foot.
Why? I don't care. That's so disgusting. Why the fuck do you need to like sexualize a foot like that? I don't want to see that. No.
Jeez.
Oh, that's nasty. No.
But like in this moment, right before she takes off her shoe, because you know what's going to happen. There's going to be like this tension in it, they show like this image of a bird like breathing, and birds breathe very quickly. It almost looks like they're hyperventilating, even though they're not. They just have this very like quick breathing, and it quickly flies away. And then there's like this fierce rainwater. Like they show a shot of like the rainwater just slamming into the concrete, like increasing this anxiety. Yet the music is so personal and like passionate. It like sets the stage and amplifies the meaning of the interaction they have,
right?
Of like this passion between them two, but like passion that shouldn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, she's mature. She's 15,
and that's why they show this imagery of this kind of like almost anxious, intense, like bird breathing heavily, running away.
Weird foot fetish.
That's not the problem here.
I know. I'm just saying it to be funny, but like still ill.
No, yeah.
I really just don't like feet.
Nah, he does not.
Dude, feet are disgusting.
And that's why for our Halloween episode, he's gonna dress as a giant foot.
Foot. I'm gonna dress as I'm gonna dress as a Bigfoot, but literally it's just gonna be a Bigfoot.
I hate that so much.
But definitely, like they do make that whole scene just very uncomfortable with that whole unspoken sexual tension there.
So when finally like the rainy season is over, there's a shot where she's like in her living room, and she's like, and she drops like her makeup, or like the little makeup container or whatever, and she like opens it, and like the makeup, like her cover up or whatever it is, I don't know, makeup,
it's like dried,
it's cracked.
Yeah.
It's cracked, just like her world. Mm-hmm. And she's like, she's sad about it, she sees it, and her makeup is cracked, and she like almost like really is sad about it, not to the point where she's like crying, but you can tell like she's really upset. And that's the crazy thing that a lot of people don't think about, is like, when you're in a state like her, when you're in such a vulnerable aspect, almost in like a depression.
In your mind. It's literally like, because like I'm gonna add on to this because it's like one of my moments too. But it's not just the makeup, right, that represents like her, or that mirrors her inner emotions and her in her world. It's also just the state of her room and her apartment itself. Like, it's not tidy. She has junk and clutter like all over her bed,
almost
and
representing like her mind space.
Her
her
mindset, like where she's kind of confined inside of her own head, and she feels that she needs to just stay in one space. So like that's why everything is so cluttered inside of her room, because she doesn't go out that much, and when she does, she's only going to that one park, that one place where she can kind of feel free, like because before that was her escape from reality almost. That's why she would go and she'd get drunk and eat chocolate. Like it was a place where she can go and escape reality and not be in the real world and not deal with just shutting herself off.
And so that's the thing about it, right? When you're in that mind space, like what Zay just explained, this very vulnerable, kind of unstable, if you will,
mindset.
There are a lot of influential things that wouldn't be thought of as being a super influential thing to your emotion, but you don't know that. You just don't know that because a lot of people might not have been in this space. And the reason her makeup cracking was such a big deal wasn't because her makeup was ruined.
No, it was just it's a representation
in her head, right? She's already in her head, and now she's like, my life isn't perfect, and it's not the smooth, unwavered world that she wants it to be. It's not this smooth makeup palette world that she wants it to be.
Exactly.
It just adds to the mind and weighs and stresses on the mind. And and that's something that happens a lot with a lot of people who are kind of in this mindset where anything, even if it's kind of small, like
one memory, like just one thing that can remind them of just anything that that caused that mindset can just suck them back in.
And I think it was so perfect of the developers or the creators of this movie to add that, like you can really sense the understanding they have of like the mental state and
the mental state
capacity.
And
and I really love that moment. It was probably one of my most favorite moments in it.
Definitely. I can say the same thing there with you. It was a really powerful moment.
All right, so another moment is that moment when she runs after him, and it's mostly the imagery that I really like, because they keep on bringing up this fact of I'm trying to learn to walk even without shoes or whatever. And when she runs after him, there's this shot of her bare feet like next to the shoes that she's passing. So like she doesn't need the shoes to walk anymore. And I thought it was really cool because it was like she doesn't need the shoes. She needs him. Almost. Until obviously like the ending quote happens and you're like, okay, so she doesn't really need him, but he helped her like be able to walk without shoes.
They helped each other in a sense.
And now we get this shot of like she didn't need the shoes, she needed him. And that was the final like interaction to be like, you saved me. No, and definitely. I just really love that shot, the imagery of like the shoes and stuff like that, and the thought of like, what could the shoes mean? Like what would the shoes be, like a support system, some type of I need to be with someone to be happy. Like what could the shoes possibly mean? And I feel like that is another thing they leave for interpretation for you to discover. What are your shoes? Like what is important to you?
What drives you to take that first
in
step
a way where you and in a way that you don't really need shoes, to realize like you don't need that to be happy and to be saved, you don't. If you feel like, oh, I'm single and I need to be in a relationship because those are my shoes and I need my shoes to walk, like you don't. You can be happy without those shoes. And I thought that was really cool.
I really love the quote in the beginning, or the little question or query in the theory. A faint clap of thunder, cloudy skies, perhaps rain will come, or perhaps rain comes, and if so, stay with me. Followed by that reply, a faint clap of thunder, even if rain comes not, I will stay here together with you. That is just, it's really beautiful. And like, I guess it kind of opened up my eyes to more, I guess, Japanese literature to really.
What do you think that means?
See, I kind of take it as just no matter what state I'm in or what state the world's in, I will always be there for you, waiting for you, like here, you know.
Yeah.
And which is kind of beautiful. And, you know, that may not be the meaning. I honestly didn't look it up.
Again,
but, you know, that's how I interpret it.
I feel like that's kind of where my brain was trying to lead me. I just couldn't like finish the connection, because every time I thought about that quote, I feel like my mind wanted to separate into like 4 different like realms of thought about what this quote could mean. But I think I do agree with you on that. That's probably the strongest affinity.
Yeah, just no matter what state I'm in, whether I'm good or bad, whether you're good or bad, whether the world's on fire, I will always be there for you. Like,
that's beautiful.
It's very beautiful in itself.
Yeah.
And it's just that really hit me. Like I said, just from the beginning, just the first time she said the quote, it forced me to question who she was. Why did she say this? And it kept her in my mind. It made me want to know just as much about her as the main character did. And then just having the main character answer it at the end was very fulfilling as a viewer. Like it's almost like they answered something that I didn't know or realized that I needed an answer to until
which is amazing, because then now you can connect that almost to just the premise of the movie. Again, they're trying to make you feel like the character needed this answer. You know,
and both of them needed that answer. You know, it's almost like this state of, now I understand you, now you understand me,
and now we understand them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, yes. That's amazing. My final thoughts on this movie is, I love this movie. I think the meanings and the story are very engaging. And I think they really let you question the things in your life that maybe affect your mental, you know?
Yeah.
And
I definitely
really enjoy that.
I can honestly say the same thing. Like, my final thoughts of this was, I definitely really enjoyed this film. I'd say that this is really good for anybody who kind of feels trapped in their own head in a way. Like, this is kind of like one of those good movies where, not saying that, you know, this could help anybody, but I'm just saying, like, you know, it's always kind of nice to see a story like this where it deals with someone dealing with mental issues or anything like that, where they're trapped in their own head and they get through it. And it delivers that powerful message of, like, you know, no matter what, there will always be that brighter side. And, you know, you do have it in you to just, you know, find your light, find your shoe, you know, and walk again. And it's just, it was really powerful. I enjoyed this movie, and I would recommend it to anybody, really.
Definitely. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Panoramic Perspective Podcast. If you're watching us on YouTube, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're listening to us on our podcast via Spotify, Google Podcasts,
Apple Music, or Google, or whatever platform you use for the audio media, come check out our YouTube channel, because we do a video version of our podcast up there. So if you want like a different experience, come check it out.
Definitely. We hope you guys enjoyed the trip.